Hello and thank you for joining us for News Radio Luntha Television. You're with me, Jacqueline Saidi. Now the headlines. Church participants meet Synodal Secretariat on the guidance of the Synod process. Minister of Local Government says construction of traditional leaders' houses is up and running. Minister of Homeland Security assures Malawi Parliament on completion of housing project for security agencies. And in other news, United Nations urges South Sudan to prosecute officials linked to rape. We have these and more. Stay with us. Leaders of the continental stage of the Synod for a Synodal Change met in Rome on Monday and today, Tuesday the 29th. The meeting, according to reports, was initiated to provide the participants the opportunity of meeting directly with Secretariat of the Synod guiding the process. Further, representatives of each continent presented specific information during the meeting regarding the continental stage introduced by the Synod Secretariat on the 27th of October. We have a Vatican News report being read by Tandiwe Mzumara.
A meeting of the presidents of the International Reunions of Episcopal Conferences and their Continental Task Force coordinators took place in the offices of the Secretariat of the Synod. A representative of each continent presented specific information regarding the continental stage introduced by the Synod Secretariat on October 27th. For each territory, Asia, Africa, Oceania, North America, the Middle East, Latin America, and Europe, information was presented regarding the people directly involved with the synodal process, as well as the dates already planned, the participants, objective, and methodology being used to carry out the continental assemblies. Feedback from various delegates demonstrated the heart of pastors voicing some pastoral concerns they have noted after having read the working document for the continental stage: the need to reach out to those in the military as well as their families, the need to develop a theology of God from the backdrop of the suffering so many are facing in the world today, and how the synodal process so far has provided episcopal conferences with a concrete forum through which to begin to understand the new vision Pope Francis is proposing for how to be church. Positive feedback was also communicated by Mauricio Lopez, a member of the Commission on Methodology, who moderated the morning session. He noted that 5 months ago he perceived a hint of anxiety regarding the continental stage. After hearing the presentations from each of the continental territories, he now notes that there is more understanding of the direction the Synod is going. He also expressed gratitude for the way he sees the methodology and tools proposed by Secretariat being embraced and concretized through the continental stage process.
For the purpose of this project is to promote decent accommodation for traditional leaders for their work in the country's development. Minister of Local Government explains.
The project is aimed at providing our chiefs with decent accommodation across the country. This project was started 3 years ago with the 84 houses spread across the country. The project stalled a bit because of financial challenges. We were able to pay most of the contractors that were working on these houses. So as a government, we have been mobilizing resources. We have cleared off all the areas, and as we speak, we have started building these houses. And as we speak, about 3/4 of these houses are near completion. I cannot say off cuff the magnitude of areas, but it was quite a decent sum. That's why for most part of this fiscal year, we've been working on clearing off those areas and dedicating the remaining resources to the resumption of the construction of the houses that have not yet been completed.
Still in Parliament, Minister of Homeland Security, Honorable Jen Sanderson, has assured members of Parliament that the first phase of Malawi Housing for Security Agencies project is at least at 99% to completion. The minister said this to the media after responding to questions of members of Parliament on the progress of the housing project, realizing that some stations are still on the ground level. According to the minister, majority of contractors will in no time complete these houses and will be handed over to right beneficiaries. The minister also said that there is no cause for worry that some stations will not benefit from the project, for government has targeted all police units in the country with a total of 4,000 houses, including the immigration and prison services, to benefit from the 2,000 house allocation. She explains.
With the first phase of the construction of these houses, a lot of contractors are on the 99% of completion. Anytime, everyone will be handing over the houses for the first phase. For the second phase, we are still procuring the contractors to start the works on the formations, the police formations that are in need of these houses. But as I did mention in my responses, I talked about phases. So there is a first phase, second phase, then we'll be going into phases. So each and every police station and even police unit will benefit from these police staff houses.
National AIDS Commission NAC has disclosed that the country is registering a decrease in the number of new HIV infections. NAC spokesperson Karen Msiska highlighted that in the year 2021 the country recorded 19,000 cases and the number has dropped to 17,600 this year. Valas Chizombe reports.
Speaking to Luntha television, NAC spokesperson Karen Msiska stated the country is registering a decrease in the number of new HIV infections, with a high new HIV infections among the youths, namely adolescent girls, young women, sex workers, among others. He said, "It is worrisome to see that young people are engaging in sexual activities without knowing their status and that of their partner, a development which is worrisome. However," he said, NAC remains optimistic to hit zero HIV infection figures by 2030.
Would like to encourage everybody, not just the youth, to go for HIV testing, because it is only through testing that one knows how they are in their body. It is only through testing that one will know whether they have HIV or not. And if they test and then they are found to be HIV positive, it's not the end of their life. What I would encourage them is for them to start taking their life-prolonging antiretroviral drugs. This is a government policy which states that this should start immediately one tests positive for HIV. If one starts taking ARVs immediately they test positive for HIV, they will keep the number of viruses in their body to the lowest, or the viral load will be low. If the viral load is suppressed in their body, the risk of them transmitting the virus to another person is almost zero.
First HIV case in Malawi was confirmed in the year 1985 and was initiated in the world in 1998. World AIDS Day is observed every year on the 1st of December to spread awareness about AIDS, where it explains that due to HIV, immunity becomes very weak, due to which the virus starts spreading rapidly in the body. This year's theme is Equalize, meaning everyone should work to eliminate the injustices that is impeding the fight to end AIDS. For Luntha News in Lilongwe, this is Fales Chizombe.
As farmers might resort to organic fertilizers in the 2022-2023 growing season due to high-priced inorganic fertilizers, agriculture expert Leonard Jumwaza has advised farmers to only use organic fertilizers that are of good quality. In an interview with Luntha television, Jumwaza said organic fertilizers can be substitutes of inorganic fertilizers and that what matters most is ensuring that organic fertilizers are of good quality and also have a good number of components that have been used to produce those organic fertilizers, so that the efficient content of the organic fertilizers should be of good standards. Charity Chilanga has more on this report.
Organic manure has multiple benefits due to the balanced supply of nutrients in the soil, including micronutrients, increased soil nutrient availability due to soil microbial activity, the decomposition of harmful elements, soil structure improvements and roof development, as well as increased water soil availability. According to agriculture expert Leonard Jumwaza, organic fertilizers hovers around the raw materials that farmers use during the production for them to be recommended for crop production. He said farmers should think of the Kora manure and also make compost manure as an alternative, because they are going to incorporate the compost manure into the soil. That improves the structures and profiles of the soil.
They can also produce what is currently known as the Mbeya fertilizer, because it has potential to have a very good mixture of both inorganic and also animal dung and the crop residues. So these are some of the organic fertilizer means that farmers can produce and then possibly apply in the field if they want to increase production.
Jumwaza further said farmers should embrace the use of organic fertilizers, as soils are not that fertile as they used to be, because soil profiles and structures are not in good order. He said the use of organic fertilizers is becoming a very good practice, and it is a recommendation that farmers should make sure that they use more of organic fertilizers as opposed to inorganic fertilizers, because Malawi is not doing good in as far as agricultural productivity is concerned due to over-reliance on inorganic fertilizers. For Luntha Television News in Lilongwe, this is Charity Chilanga.
Remember, you're still watching news on Luntha Television. Now a reminder of the headlines. Church participants meet Synodal Secretariat on the guidance of the Synod process. Minister of Local Government says construction of traditional leaders' houses is up and running. Minister of Homeland Security assures Malawi Parliament on completion of housing project for security agencies. And in other news, United Nations urges South Sudan to prosecute officials linked to rape. Moving forward, the Press Trust has called upon well-wishers and relevant stakeholders who have got capacity to produce desks through technical colleges in Malawi to support the huge desk gap in the Ministry of Education. Speaking during the handover ceremony of 720 double-seater desks to the Ministry of Education on Monday at Lilongwe Technical College in Lilongwe, Board Chairperson for Press Trust, Moses Malil, said they will continue to provide desks to the Ministry of Education as lack of poor desks in Malawi schools is so enormous. According to Malilo, the desks have been made by Lilongwe Technical College students, and the resources were provided by the Lilongwe City Council using the timber that came out of the Mibawa trees that were cut down along Kenyatta Drive and the Mzimba Road, as government is expanding the two roads in the city. He explains.
We are already running a program where we are distributing desks at least to each constituency by the end of 2025. Already there are a number of secondary schools where we have donated desks, enough for 2 classrooms the standard classrooms that you get in several districts. So this is just part of it. So the creativity, the initiative that has come here, whereby we are using our own technical colleges, use their skills, their capacity to produce desks from the resources that are locally available. It's what we need also to promote.
Meanwhile, Minister of Education Agnes Nyalonje said the desks have reduced the huge desk gap that has been there over the years, and that they will be distributed to the Lilongwe urban primary and secondary schools to benefit the learners and improve the quality of education. Hear this.
We know that over the years we have a huge gap in desks, and you as reporters, you hear me every day talking about the gap. The gap is big, but step by step, government is addressing that gap. The gap of desks in our schools, primary and secondary, the gap of furniture in our schools, including teacher furniture. At this point, we were talking of desks, but increasingly we'll be talking of school furniture that includes also teachers' desks, tables and chairs.
Still on education, Deputy Minister of Education Monica Changanamuno has applauded Malawian university students who participated in the UNESCO India-Africa Hackathon from 20th to 26th November 2022 for making Malawi shine. She made the remarks in Lilongwe when she welcomed the students upon arrival in the country yesterday. Changanamuno said that this will be helpful to the students and development of the country, as the UIA Hackathon, which is an annual event, brings together students, educators, teachers, and accomplished researchers from India and its African partners with an aim of tackling common challenges faced by participating countries. Changanamuno explains.
As a ministry, we are excited because of the outcome of the UNESCO India Africa Hackathon that had just took place in India, where we sent 20 students, 12 of which are female students and 8 are male students from the public universities in Malawi. And what excites us is that these students have been so innovative, and their participation has brought back 4 winners. So we are excited that we have won from the participation that our students had in India. It shows that as Malawi, we are not lagging behind in areas of innovation. We are competing at the international level because these students were put in groups whereby they were challenged to come up with solutions to the problems that we are facing as Africa. And they were able to come up with apps and softwares that are going to be used. And therefore, because of that, we are saying that as Malawi, we are indeed competing at an international level, and we have brilliant students from our universities. And therefore, from what they have developed, we would like to make sure that these apps are being used back here in the country. And therefore, we would want them to continue to be innovative, to bring up more apps that are going to give us solutions to the challenges that we're facing.
Communities at Traditional Authority Kalumo in Chisi District have cited lack of learning materials in some of the community-based childcare centers as a setback in promoting early childhood development. A media tour organized by Early Childhood Development Coalition on Monday, November 22nd, 2022, revealed that even though government claims that ECD is no longer an expenditure but a smart investment, it remains the least prioritized and resourced component of the education sector, with less children accessing quality ECD services due to limited capacity, including lack of trained personnel and absence of a cultural appropriated interactive and play-based curriculum, just to mention but a few. For example, Chikandira CBCC, which started in 2017, operates from an Anglican church, which makes it difficult for the caregivers to teach the children as they don't have proper posts of stamp the learning materials. Bridget Monoka reports.
According to Mary Lazaro, one of the caregivers at Chigandila CBCC, there are a lot of challenges they are facing even though the CBCC started operating in 2017. She cited limited government resources for ECT programs as a setback, saying they struggle to teach the children since they don't have quality and essential infrastructure and resources. She mentioned that they are not progressing because they use an Anglican church as a CBCC, and whenever there are church gatherings for days, the lessons are put on hold.
I can say we are trying our best as caregivers, even though we are just volunteers. The main challenge here is lack of food to give to the children. As you know, things are hard these days, so communities contribute to what we feed them. You can even bear witness that this church is not a proper place to teach the children.
Responding to the outcry, World Relief Program Manager for Child Development and Family Strengthening, George Mkandawile, said since Chigandila CBCC is one of the areas they are implementing their project, they will work hand in hand with the communities and build a better structure, while urging journalists to help in disseminating the information so that some stakeholders can join in to help. Mkandawile said they will provide steel, cement and labor fee, hoping the work will commence early next year.
We want to put it clear to the stakeholders and well-wishers, funders and even the government about the importance of early childhood development. You know, early start is very, very important for everyone. For Malawi to get what it's supposed to get, or even globally, to compete, we need an early start.
Nchisi District Social Welfare Officer Wuso Nigambewa recommended the effort caregivers are making despite facing a lot of challenges like not getting paid and inadequate resources. He, however, said not all hope is lost as government is working towards improving early childhood development programs as seen in some structures.
The main problems which we are facing implementing these activities, mainly early child development, shortage of caregivers because they are not motivated in terms of honorarias.
In her remarks, Early Childhood Development ECD Coalition National Coordinator Joedit Genda said ECD remains the least prioritized and resourced component of the education sector, calling upon government and relevant stakeholders to work collaboratively if the country is to achieve Sustainable Development Goals, SDGs, which state that children should receive preparatory education before starting primary education.
In terms of records, we are at about 50% of the eligible children of ECD age that are accessing ECD services. This is mainly the center-based ECD services, which include the pre-primary education, plus nutrition services, and the other care services that the children receive at the ECD center. So in terms of direction, it means we still have work to do.
ECD Coalition is therefore calling on government to increase ECD funding so that some of the challenges can be addressed. Bridget Mwanuka, for Luntha News.
In sports, it has emerged that the country's netball governing body, NAM, asked the newly appointed Queen's coach, Piers Chawinga Kalua, to submit 3 names of whom one would be appointed as her deputy. Originally, the coach was supposed to appoint her own backroom staff during her time in office. Kalua was offered a new 2-year deal after the expiry of her last 3-year contract on August 31st this year. Lastly, in international news, a United Nations panel of experts on human rights in South Sudan has called on the government to investigate and prosecute top officials for their alleged role in sexual violence. He had said that the government should immediately remove from office and investigate state governors and county commissioners linked to systematic rape. The panel made the call during the ongoing international conference on preventing sexual violence in conflict being hosted in London. It has been indicated through the meeting that this year most dehumanizing sexual violence cases have been seen in South Sudan, for which the government bears responsibility because of its failure over many years to hold individuals accountable. A delegation from the South Sudan government is also attending the conference, though they have not issued any official statement in response to the panel statement. Well, that is all I had for you for now, but before we go, another look at the headlines. Church participants meet Synodal Secretariat on the guidance of the Synod process. Minister of Local Government says construction of traditional leaders' houses is up and running. Minister of Homeland Security assures Malawi Parliament on completion of housing project for security agencies. And in other news, United Nations urges South Sudan to prosecute officials linked to rape. My name is Jacqueline Saidi. Thank you very much for watching Luntha television, and stay safe.